All right, what's that say down there? Ultimate goal, build a Cynabal and get to Zarzak. We have been working on this project for a while. 1 year, 77 episodes ago, we started out with a Corvette, some civilian modules, and 5,000 ISK. And without any outside help, without ever once using the player market, we had to contend with this. This is what it takes to build the materials that you need, to build the materials that you need, to do the reactions that you need, to then build the materials that you need to build a Cynabal. And not only that, we also had to build the modules that we were going to put on the ships that we also built in order to even start harvesting these minerals. We did everything by the bootstraps from scratch, top to bottom, and today might finally be the day. Let's look at our industry tab. Life support backup units delivered. Bam. Auto integrity preservation seals delivered. Bam. And with that, I have a Cynabal. It just happens to be spread out over several regions of space. Our most critical and hardest won Cynabal build materials are right here in the Amamake 4 Republic Fleet Assembly Plant. I'm talking about the GO trigger Neuralink conduits, the SR trigger Neuralink conduits, the auto integrity preservation seals, which we just built, and the life support backup units, which we also just built. These four things build a Cynabal, or rather they would have built a Cynabal a year ago when we started this quest. Today, we no longer need the Neuralink conduits, although we built them anyways as a point of pride. We still need the preservation seals and the life support backup units, but now those must be combined. Instead of with Neuralink conduits, they must be combined with AngelNet resonators. But we have AngelNet resonators 6 jumps away in Tanaka. And then of course we also need a whole pile of conventional minerals like tritanium and pyrite and Meixsell, and we need a Cynabal blueprint. We've got that stuff too. Our Cynabal blueprint is sitting 12 jumps away in Minar. And of course, we're not going to fly a toothless Cynabal into Zarzak. So we've also built 4 Tech 2 720mm howitzers, which are 3 jumps away in Gel. And so we have a high stakes move up ahead of us today. We are going to be hauling precious cargo. These 720mm howitzer artillery 2s, each one of the 4 of them is like a child to me. They are made of my blood, sweat, and tears, as are the auto integrity preservation seals and the life support backup units. The Neuralink conduits, I guess, are also like children to me, but the annoying children that you don't love as much. Nonetheless, it would break my heart to lose any of these things. It would break my heart, and it would also set us back quite a few episodes. So I am taking as few risks as possible. This is already scary enough without doing it while Amamake is in the midst of an active insurgency. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put up the title card and teleport 2 days into the future by movie magic. This is Bill. Bill wants to build a Cynabal and join the Angel Cartel cause in Zarzak, but he's not making it easy on himself. Well, it has been 2 days, and Amamake is still under insurgency. And Susaid is still at maximum corruption, which means it's a potential site for interdictor bubbles. I normally would not let that stop me, but there is no way I am taking my auto integrity preservation seals, my life support backup units through a system where I could be bubble camped. But I'm also running out of patience. I want to get this Cynabal built. So I'm going to see if there is another way around. Amamake is quite well connected. Sisade is not the only way out of system. Our most direct route through Sisade to Minar is 12 jumps, but if we avoid Sisade... Oh. We go entirely through low sec instead of being in high sec for most of the journey, but it's still only 12 jumps. Okay. Okay, we are doing this. We are going to move our stuff now. And the ship for the job is Ansel the Atron. Ansel has a 1.9 second align, a 9.01 AU per second warp speed, and 5,460 EHP. Smart bombs have been rebalanced, and they have introduced smart bomb mutaplasmids to the game. So it's a little bit more difficult now to know that you have exactly enough hit points to survive the maximum volley from a smart bombing Stratios or T3 or battleship. But with 5,460 hit points, I am pretty sure that Ansel cannot be killed in a single smart bomb volley. We're still running a risk. We could encounter a smart bomb camp with multiple smart bombers, or we could theoretically encounter a hyperlocking camp that can catch a 2-second aligned ship. But both of those things are so rare, and there's not really anything else that we can do to mitigate that. So this is what we're going with. The one downside of Ansel the Atron is that his cargo hold is only 185 cubic meters. So I can't bring everything in one run, but that's probably okay. Honestly, I don't think I would want to anyways. I've been joking the last few episodes that we're like 2 episodes, 1 episode from building a Cynabal, unless things go sideways during the move op, in which case we're maybe 77 episodes from building a Cynabal, because that's how long it's taken us to get to this point. But obviously, if we get killed in a smart bomb camp here, we're not back to square zero. I mean, remember, the first 5 episodes of this challenge were belt ratting in a Reaper Corvette with civilian modules to try and get the minerals and ISK to allow us to build our first slasher. That was a 6 to 8 hour grind, and we would not have to do that again. We've already got the slasher blueprint, and we've got the minerals and the modules now to build, fit, and field dozens of slashers. More recently, we've spent about 10 episodes grinding ISK to buy the rest of the BPOs and reaction formulas that we needed for the Cynabal build process, and we wouldn't have to repeat any of that. What we would have to do again is collect the materials and build the life support backup units, the auto integrity preservation seals. Except we wouldn't have to collect all of that stuff. When we were harvesting our raw materials, we often harvested more than we needed, and critically, the reactions that we had to do, things like the reinforced carbon fiber and the oxyorganic solvents, in a lot of cases, the reaction output provided more of those things than we needed, sometimes more than twice what we needed. We don't have enough spare parts to build an entire second Cynabal. If we lost everything, there would be a lot of raw materials we would have to collect again, a lot of reactions we would have to run again, a lot of manufacturing steps we would have to do again. But if we were to lose just the life support backup units, or just the preservation seals, it would definitely be a setback, but the amount of work that we would need to do to recoup that loss would be highly constrained. It would be approachable. And so, on our first nail-biting trip through LowSec, through this active insurgency, we are bringing in Ansel's hold not all of this, just this. And we can't even bring all of our life support backup units in one run. We've got to bring them 4 at a time. All right, let's get moving. So somehow I had never looked at how big, at how bulky these life support backup units and auto integrity preservation seals actually are. I thought that I was being cautious by saying I will do it in 4 runs instead of 1 or 2. But it's looking like it's going to be, I don't know, I guess like 20 runs to move all of this in an Atron? Man. Well, I've got nothing else I need to be doing for the next couple of hours. And at least Ansel warps nice and fast, especially with these 3 mid-grade ascendancies. We're going to get across these systems quick. While we're flying, let's talk about what would happen if we did lose these. As I was saying, if we lose just the life support backup units, that's something that we can recover from. Let's actually look at what that recovery would entail. To do that, I'm actually going to call up a website that is fantastic. It's called EveHub. It's new. It was actually developed for this challenge and other challenges like it by a member of the Cruisac community named Justin. I'll put up the URL. So on the EveHub website, if you put in something that you want to build, it breaks it down for you into every single component and every single reaction and manufacturing step that you'd have to do along the way, and gives you a shopping list. Here's what it takes to build all of the life support backup units that we need to build a Cynabal. This is a good reminder too of everything that we've done along the way. We needed to harvest all of these ice products, which of course required that we first build a thorax and build ice harvesting drones, and building the thorax required that we not only get all of the minerals that entailed, but that we grind up the 80 million ISK that would let us buy the BPO. Once we had the ice, we also needed moon materials, which we had to ninja mine from a hostile Athenor using a venture, which once again, we had to buy the BPO for, we had to build ourselves. And then once we had all of our moon minerals, we also needed all of this planetary interaction, which required that we build a wreath hauler to move the command centers and put them on the planets, and then also figure out planetary industry, which was a headache and a half. And then, of course, there's also 250 million ISK in BPOs and reaction formulas. That was all a ton of work. Building these life support backup units and auto integrity preservation seals have defined pretty much the entire run. All of the things that we've been doing have been in service of this. But if we lost all of our life support backup units, what would it take us to build another 29? Well, that's where EveHub actually really becomes an incredible tool, because not only does it give us this list of what's actually required, we can also connect it to our Eve account through the ESI, and it will tell us what we already have and what we need to get in order to actually complete it. It gives us a shopping list from where we are at today. So if we look at that for the life support backup unit, it looks like this. If we lost all of our life support backup units, we would not need to do any ice mining. We would not need to do any moon mining. All that we would actually need to acquire in order to replace all of our life support backup units from where we're at today is a little bit more PI. That would be a setback I can stomach, but it looks like I'm not going to have to, because here we are in Turner. That's right, if you didn't notice, I have changed our destination from Manar to Turner. For many episodes now, I have been misleading you guys and implying that the final build... Oh shoot, there's a Legion here. It's a little dangerous. Gonna have to make an Instadoc bookmark before the next trip. Anyways, I've been implying that I was going to do the final Cynabal build in Manar, but I am not doing that for two reasons. The first reason is just that I have implied I'm going to do the final build in Manar, and it does not seem impossible that some group of scoundrels might have decided to camp the Manar station just to catch the Cynabal there when I undock it. More significantly though, Manar is pretty far from Zarzak, and in terms of my ultimate goal of building a Cynabal and getting to Zarzak, this move up today is the most dangerous thing I've done yet. But even more dangerous than this would be 12 jumps through Lowsec in a Cynabal. So why wouldn't I build the Cynabal in Turner? Turner is an interesting and unique system. 2 years ago, it was just another low-sec Minmatar faction warfare system. And then Turner got selected to be the home of some pretty interesting lore events. For one thing, look at the star. The sun of the Turner system underwent a crazy cataclysm, destroying a ton of player structures and completely devastating Turner 1. Turner 1, the closest planet to the sun, is now a planet of the, I believe, unique scorched planet type. This isn't just a regular lava planet. This is the site of a disaster. But the changes that happened in Turner are not just aesthetic. Another really big thing that happened to Turner not that long ago is that it got a new Stargate. Turner got a Stargate that goes directly to Zarzak. So by building our Cynabal here in Turner, instead of 10 or 12 jumps through Lowsec, worrying about gate camps every time, getting the Cynabal to Zarzak is just going to mean undocking from the station, warping 18 AU, and jumping through one gate. That is a much more attractive proposition, let me tell you. And on top of all that, Turner is also unique now in a couple of other ways. For one thing, it has this permanent system effect, Turner Aftermath. And finally, perhaps the most unique thing about Turner is that it is, as far as I know, the only system in known space with static wormholes. Turner is basically low-sec Thera, and it's mapped out by Eve Scout in the same way that Thera is. At any given time in Turner, there are wormholes that will take you all over K space into W space. It is super well connected. We won't be using Turner's wormholes right now because for the hauling that we're doing, I think gates are actually safer in a 2-second align Atron. But if you're looking for somewhere to make your home for a challenge like this one, and you don't want to go into Thera, Turner is also a very, very strong candidate. Now, let's get back to Amamake. We still have a lot more stuff to haul. Okay, so I timed that last run, and each return trip Amamake, Turner, Amamake is taking me 11 minutes. And I've looked at all of the stuff I have to move, and it's going to be another 16 runs in Ansel the Atron. That's a solid 3 hours of hauling. There is another way we could move these things in relative safety. I could use a probe, which has a hold like 3 times bigger. I could cut the number of runs I have to do to a third. But if I want to do it in safety, I would be giving up the 2-second align. So I would really need a cloak for the micro-warp drive cloak trick. And my cloaking device, my only improved cloaking device too, is out in Curse. I think it would probably take me about half an hour to retrieve that cloaking device from Curse and pick up a probe. I think that's totally worth it. I think that's what we're gonna do. I think... You ready for it? I think I'm going to clone jump back in to Thera. And now, having taken a quick break for lunch, we are going to fly out to Curse and retrieve our cloaking device. Cloak secured. Back to Amake. Okay, that took a little bit longer than the half an hour I was anticipating, but nonetheless, here we are back in Amake. It took a lot less time than 3 hours worth of back and forths in an Atron would have taken. So now we are ready to get back to hauling life support backup unit. We were taking 4 of them at a time in Ansel. With Priscilla, 11 at a time. Instead of being 5 trips, this is going to be 2. I already feel good about this. Let's go. Well, because Priscilla the probe is slower to align and slower in warp than Ansel the Atron, instead of taking 11 minutes, that round trip took 12 and a half. But we actually should be comparing that 12 and a half minutes against 3 round trips in the Atron, so 12 and a half minutes versus 33 minutes. It was so worth it to go get that cloak. Oh, and I just realized I didn't jump back into my fast warp clone. We can probably shave a few more seconds off. Okay, time for another run. Life support backup units. All 7 of them should fit in the hold. And I'm going to bring some of the auto integrity preservation seals as well. So if we look at the total build cost of the auto integrity preservation seals using Justin's Eve Hub website again, you can see that it's very similar to what was required for the life support backup units. Use the same moon goo, the same ice, and mostly the same planetary industry. So, given that we were able to replace our life support backup units, more or less, except for the PI, if we had lost them, I'm pretty sure that the same is going to be true of the auto integrity preservation seals. Let's take a look. Yeah, same deal. If we lost these auto integrity preservation seals, it would be the exact same deal as if we had lost the life support backup units. We would have to do a little bit more planetary industry, which would be a pain, but would be pretty quick. And then, just like that, we could put another 57 auto integrity preservation seals in the oven. But once again, let's not lose them. So far, it's been quiet. The big concern is you'll notice in local, people are saying, Bill is back. They have noticed me passing in and out of these systems quite a lot already today. And I do worry that as people keep seeing me pop in and out of the same systems over and over again on local and D-scan, someone might get the idea to try and catch, as Benedict Socrates says, Priscilla the Probie. And that's the last of our life support backup units in Turner. Let's go get the rest of our preservation seals. Okay, that's the rest of the auto integrity preservation seals. And now it's also a good time to bring some of these PvP spoils of war that I think we might want to fit to the Cynabal. Okay, all that's left to move from Amamake is the GO trigger Neuralink conduits and the SR trigger Neuralink conduits. I can fit all 4 of both of them in Priscilla's hold at once, and I'm gonna risk it. Now, these Neuralink conduits are actually going to be harder for us to replace if we lose them than the preservation seals would have been, or the life support backup units would have been. In addition to requiring moon minerals and ice and planetary interaction, these Neuralink conduits also required gas and molecular condensers. And both of those were a serious ordeal to find. Both of those are grinds that I would really rather not repeat. And both of those are materials where I do not have a full set in reserve. Replacing these GO trigger Neuralink conduits, if I lost them, would require me to get a bit more ice, but get almost 300 Azure Mycocerocin and 313 Vermilion Mycocerocin. Were I to lose the SR Neuralink conduits, and if I lose either, I'm going to be losing both because they're both in my hold right now, I would likewise need to get some more ice, some more oxygen isotopes, and I would need to harvest a bunch more Celadon Mycocerocin and Viridian Mycocerocin. So of all of the runs that we have done today, from Amamake to Turner, this is the one with the highest stakes. And we still have 5 jumps to go. 3 jumps to go. 2 jumps to go. 1 jump to go. And that is everything that we needed to move from Amamake safely in the Turner 3 Moon 17 Boundless Creation Factory. Priscilla, you are a goddamn hero. Now, there are still a few more things that we need to consolidate here. They just aren't in Amamake anymore. The next thing I need to pick up is 57 AngelNet resonators in Tanakan. Now, if we lost these AngelNet resonators, we didn't build these, right? We just bought them from the Angel Cartel loyalty point store, which of course meant that we needed to earn 57,000 Angel Cartel loyalty points. That was actually pretty quick to earn. I'd really rather not lose these net resonators, but for sure, this is something that we could replace in 1 episode. Of course, we shouldn't forget that being able to run those Angel Cartel faction warfare sites in the first place required that we have a pretty decent combat destroyer, which once again was something that we had to buy the blueprints for, loot the modules for, build ourselves. Even the simple tasks that would be easy for us to repeat, there is a lot of blood and sweat. If you peel back the surface even a little, go back, look at the early episodes, and see how far we were from a faction warfare capable destroyer. But now the net resonators are safely in Turner. So let's look at what we've got here now in Turner. This is pretty much everything you need to build a Cynabal, except for a Cynabal blueprint. Let's look at our Cynabal blueprint, which is currently sitting in Manar. Requires 29 life support backup units. We have 30 life support backup units here. Requires 57 auto integrity preservation seals. We have 57 auto integrity preservation seals. Requires 57 AngelNet resonators. We have 57 AngelNet resonators. Requires 0 Geo trigger Neuralink conduits and 0 SR trigger Neuralink conduits. We have 4 and 4. But it also requires all of these minerals. And you'll notice that while the things I just mentioned are redded out in this industry pane, the minerals are all blue because we have those minerals, but they are in Manar with the blueprint. And if you think moving all of this stuff in a frigate was a pain just now. Wait until you see me try and move 610,000 titanium. We are not going to move all of those minerals from Manar to Turner. Instead, while we've been moving all of that other stuff from Omamake, I have been filling up, as you may have noticed, the empty space in my hold with warp disruption field generators, cynosural field generators, and 500 MN micro warp drives. And I'm hoping that if we reprocess all of this stuff, we will be most of the way to having all of the minerals that we need here, having smuggled them in their most compact module-based forms. Let's see. Reprocessing this stuff will get us 681,000 titanium. We need 610,000. It will get us 265,000 pyrite. We need 203,000. It will get us 103,000 Meixsell. We need 40,000. It'll give us 48,000 isogen. We need 11,000. It'll give us 14,000. What is this? Noxium. We need 1,600. It'll get us 1,400 Zydrine. We need 1,100. It'll get 716 megasite. We need 564. And that's our minerals solved. Except that we don't have the 1.2 million ISK that it requires. We're 1 million ISK short because we just barely crossed the line last episode, and I've been clone jumping willy-nilly. Okay, well, we are going to Manar anyways to pick up our Cynabal blueprint. And while we're out there, I guess we'll be hitting the belts of Manar one last time. And here we are for the last time back in Manar. We spent so many episodes living here, and I'll tell you, in all that time we spent in Manar, I never once saw 45 people in local. What the heck is going on here? There is no way that there are 45 people sitting around waiting for me to come build my Cynabal. Although I'll tell you, that's where my mind immediately went. Are these people here to camp me in station? No. No, they are not. The station is empty. Except the station holds some of our old favorite ships. Lydia the Wreath, Orion the Catalyst, and Angela the Slasher, our very first non-Corvette ship. This is properly nostalgic. And here's our Cynabal blueprint. But before we bring this back to Turner, we have 1 million ISK to earn. And I'm pretty sure the right ship for doing that is going to be Orion. Hey, buddy. Let's see how you're fit. Those are rail guns. 145 DPS. Do we have small blasters here? No. In terms of small blasters, we don't have small blasters. Okay. Well, that's fine. We can earn 1 million ISK with Tech 1 Meta 0 125mm railguns. How hard can it be? We've flown with worse. Oh wait, we've got thorium loaded. If we have antimatter in the hold, we can get our DPS up. Oh, clever. I put the blasters in the hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we're flying with 6 blasters and 225mm railguns. 278 DPS, that's more like it. Let's go. Oh, and locals cleared out. Lovely. We need 1 million ISK. We can do this pretty quick, I think. There we go. That battleship should put us across the line. It will still take a few minutes for that tick to come in, but we do have to move the Cynabal blueprint over to Turner, and I'm reasonably confident that it'll ding in our wallet before we get there. Now, the last time we moved this Cynabal blueprint through LOSEC, I was soiling my pants. I was thinking that this was not going to be an easy thing to replace. To get this Cynabal blueprint, we had to run the Angel Cartel Epic Arc in Angela the Slasher, and it was skin of the teeth. But now, not only could we go back out and finish running our abortive attempt at Angel Sound once again, it's even easier than that. With the 31,000 Malcolm Zealot's loyalty points that we have sitting in our wallet, we could just buy another Cynabal blueprint if we needed to. So this is not actually a very scary run that we're doing right now compared to some of the danger we were putting ourselves in earlier today. Oh, there's our first tick, only 541,000 ISK. That must have been the tick for Manar. We killed that battleship over in Angatili, so I'm sure that tick will come in any second now. Our Cynabal blueprint is in Turner. And there's our second tick, 2 million ISK. Let's reprocess some stuff. Reprocess. Yes, I will pay 1.269 million. Thank you. And now, please install Blueprint. Total job cost 854,000 ISK. We have 1.6 million. I don't know what to say. I feel like I've said it all. You guys have sat through like 60 hours of me talking about how hard it is to get right here by the bootstraps, and we're here. So all there is to do is push this button and wait 2.5 hours. Five, four, three, two, one. No, it can't be so. It can't be so. Deliver. Guys, we have Bill Da Cynabal. Oh my God. I was debating. I thought for a moment over the last week about buying a bottle of champagne, a party hat, some balloons. But doing the whole fake YouTube excitement celebration thing is not really my style. And even if it might be a bit anticlimactic, I was like, I'm just gonna be me when the time comes. You guys have been watching me for all of these hours, over all of these episodes, and you don't want me to do a fake celebration, but honest to God, I might be about to cry. It's so silly, but I have put so much of myself into this, And here it is. Let's put on a prettier dress. Look at that. It is absolutely glorious. Can we watch that little movie again? Play cinematic reveal. Oh, and it's got the skin on now. It's doing it with the... It's doing it with my skin. Oh. Oh, I'm so happy. I would not have gotten here, you guys, without the community. So thank you so much. I am crying. I literally am. Every single one of you for coming on this journey with me. Watching, commenting, keeping me motivated and keeping me going. Now we've just got to fit this baby up and get her to Zarzak.